Reality now, he is on the ground, at least the plane is, and he's going to make that short landing here and be able to taxi right into the area here.
Bob, what's interesting is that plane is actually going to come right in front of us once it rounds the road here. So we will get an up-close look at President Trump as he is arriving off of Air Force One. And just want to remind you that President Trump is, of course, here to visit the National Scout Jamboree to address about 40,000 people total. 25,000 rather of those scouts are included in that 40,000, of course, along with volunteers and staff. Again, we are told that the president is going to speak to those thousands of people inside of the summit Beckley for about 20 minutes once he's arrived. He was set to speak at about 6 o'clock. Of course, it's going to take about 40 minutes or so once he gets in the car on the drive to Fayette County. With so many people at this year's Jamboree, this is really an opportunity for President Trump to reach a lot of people from really all across the country from one venue here in West Virginia. I do also want to mention that Governor Jim Justice was calling the president's visit really just a cherry on top of this year's Jamboree. And Bob, like you said, this is Trump's first visit to West Virginia as president. He visited Charleston, of course, last May as he was the front-running Republican candidate. But he addressed a crowd of about 14,000 people at that time inside of the Civic Center, vowing to put miners back to work. And he carried nearly 70% of the vote here in West Virginia and did win the state by the biggest landslide in its history of presidential elections. So that's pretty impressive. And of course, there's a large crowd here waiting for Trump's arrival, Bob.
Yes, there is. President very popular here in West Virginia, carrying something like 60% of the vote in the general election against Hillary Clinton here in a state that had voted Democratic for a long, long time. Now the plane has come to a stop here. I don't know if you noticed as it revved up the engines here right when he braked, but you could see how much water was on the runway here. And somewhat ironically, when the president gets off here, it'll be pretty dry for him.
Right.
But for these folks who have been waiting for him for about an hour and a half out here in the rain, they are absolutely soaked.
We were also told that there was potential that he may walk over to the visitors here, depending on his scheduling. We'll just have to wait and see what he does. But of course, he is a bit behind schedule because of the rain. Not too bad, though.
Now, there are going to be some disruptions as his motorcade moves out of the area here. Air traffic, of course, has been halted here while he landed, and vehicular traffic is going to be restricted as he travels up to the Beckley Scout Reserve. That'll take him through both Raleigh and Fayette counties. So especially along 19, the 4-lane there, you can expect some disruptions. The stairs are being hooked up there, another stairway going out. Here comes some of the staff out the back here. And a military personnel.
Just to give you a good idea of how big the Jamboree is as well, Trump is actually the 8th president to attend a Jamboree. 7 of the 11 U.S. presidents who were in office at the time of the National Jamboree have attended this event in person. This is the first visit, though, since George W. Bush stopped by to say hello back in 2005. Bill Clinton visited in 1997, and George H.W. Bush in 1989. Now, President Barack Obama did not go to the Boy Scouts Jamboree, although he did provide a video message back in 2010.
Now the traveling press is getting off, and we see Governor Jim Justice.
That guy there said, "I'm your Attorney General."
And Attorney General Patrick Morrissey.
You're not from Texas, and you're not.
Secretary of State Warner, some other people here.
He is
Moving out, but there's the governor and Morrissey. And here comes the motorcade. Probably not a good sign for the folks in the crowd here. It's moving out right to the plane. The national press has come off the aircraft now. They're down there at the base of the ramp. President about to come down here now. Motorcade vehicles moving very close. This looks like it might take place very quickly here. So far, we have not seen the president. You see Governor Jim Justice there, a Democrat governor, and Patrick Morrissey, the Republican Attorney General of the state of West Virginia, walking out to greet him.
Those guys that were driving.
We do
Now,
know.
Jim Justice knew him
Right.
before he ran for president, and touted that to some extent during his campaign about his ability to get along with Donald Trump if in fact he did become the president. And that is what has happened here now. So some of the top state officials over there standing by to greet the President of the United States as he steps down to West Virginia. Kellyanne Conway coming out the back ramp over there, it looks like, in the aircraft. And
We also-
I believe that's the new press secretary there with the phone up to his ear, although it's too far away for me to actually tell.
We also do know that although I don't see her here right now, she may be in one of these vehicles, but Republican U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito is set to join President Trump on his visit to the National Scout Jamboree. We also know that Republican West Virginia House Speaker Tim Armstead also accepted an invitation to the Jamboree this weekend as well. No sign of him right here, right now, as you said, though, Bob.
And the guy next
And
to
a
him.
huge
We'll let you
motorcade is
have
lined up
it.
here.
And his wife
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
I believe Sarah-
15, 16, 17, 18 vehicles standing by to escort the president to the Boy Scout Reserve.
Sarah Sanders, I believe, got off the plane as well. We're set back a little bit, but so I'm judging from afar, but I believe that's who just came off of the back of the plane. Still waiting on President Trump to appear here in West Virginia.
Top state officials there standing by along with some other folks here and the National Press Corps, emergency vehicles, everybody waiting for the president to step off this aircraft. This will mark the first time he's been in West Virginia since prior to the election. And the first time, of course, he's visited here since the President of the United States. This airport has seen 2 other presidents and 2 other vice presidents visited here before, but it's always an exciting time for Raleigh County. I spoke earlier with some of the people from the Chamber of Commerce. They were very proud that he was coming here and that he would see the Beckley Scout Reserve, which kind of overlaps into the 2 counties, Raleigh and Fayette, and see what an impressive sight that has been. Looks like we're seeing a naval attaché coming off the aircraft, maybe carrying these so-called football nuclear guns. Don't really know that, but naval officer coming off the back of the plane there.
This visit by President Trump, as you mentioned, this is his first visit as president, but he did visit West Virginia last year while he was on the campaign trail. That time, though, he spoke to only about 14,000 people in the Civic Center. This visit, he's going to be speaking to about 40,000 people, about 25,000 scouts, as well as staff and volunteers, and all of those people are really from all across the country, so this is a good chance for him to speak to people really from all 50 states here in one location in West Virginia.
He is running a little bit behind schedule. We're not sure how that is going to affect his plans here at the airport. I know these folks over to our left here are hopeful that he will come over and speak to them briefly. But this was not an event that was open to the public, and neither is the event at the Scouts. His visit here is very controlled, and access to him is very limited during the trip here. But Governor Jim Justice is there. Hopefully we'll take a moment to talk with him.
So is Justice.
And the president should be stepping off this plane at any moment now.
As planned, the president was supposed to begin his speech at the Summit Bechdel in Fayette County at about 6 o'clock. Obviously now we're about a half hour behind schedule. It's going to take him at least, what would you say, 40 minutes to get to Fayette County, Bob, once he gets off this plane and into one of the vehicles. So definitely a bit behind schedule heading to Summit Bechdel.
They may make better time than that. They were really talking about hustling this convoy through there, but it's kind of got a big tail to drag here. A lot of vehicles,
There he is.
a lot of communications, and here comes the President of the United States waving and getting a cheer to the crowd. Donald Trump has returned to West Virginia. Victorious, he is now the President of the United States. Back here earlier in his campaign and getting strong support from the state. Down there at the bottom of the ramp now, sort of dropping out of our sight, speaking with some people. Going over, saying hi to Jim Justice, the governor of the state of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, the state's attorney general, now a candidate for Congress.
President Trump has arrived here in West Virginia. He's got feet on the ground being greeted by Governor Jim Justice as well as other West Virginia leaders. You can see people are moving quickly, press, national press, and all of the other congressional leaders here and President Trump's staff are getting ready too. It seems he's not going to have time to really address any of the people here, although he is.
No, it looks like he's coming this way. He is going to come over and speak to the crowd.
President Trump making time to speak to his supporters and friends who have been waiting through pouring rain to see him arrive here in West Virginia. President Trump waving to the crowd here.
Going over, going to greet some of the crowd members here. Walking into the
We'll
crowd.
step out of the way.
Shaking hands with a young wheelchair-bound man here.
Can't see ourselves because of all you idiots.
President Trump now speaking with some of his supporters here as he arrives at Raleigh County Memorial Airport.
Getting a very friendly reception from the crowd here. Many of the Trump supporters, other folks who, family members of the folks who worked in preparation for his visit here. Some of the military, some of the scouts are here from the Jamboree also. Young man, very excited. I spoke to him before the president arrived. He was looking forward for a chance to meet him, and it looks like he got that chance.
He's sitting there with his hand out. Shake my hand.
Donald Trump now working the crowd here at the Greater Raleigh Memorial Airport back in West Virginia, shaking hands with some of the military personnel here. We've got a
Look at Bert. Look at me. I'm just like, oh,
unit training here, doing medic evacuation work, working with the scouts, and we also have a unit from Fort Bragg, which set up a military control tower here.
It'd have been perfect
to work things at the airport this week with all the activity for the scouting and the training and the president's visit. And he's shaking hands with some of these folks from the military unit here who are making up part of this crowd, a very friendly crowd, very excited to see Donald Trump, the president of the United States, here in West Virginia. Some of these folks came from surrounding states. They're giving the national media the high sign to get ready to go here. The president's still over there talking with the crowd.
Yeah, it seems that he's really making his way down the line, taking a moment to really try to talk to as many people as he can as he arrives here in West Virginia. As we've been mentioning, he is a bit behind schedule, but still making some time to speak to his friends and supporters here as he arrives for the first time as president in West Virginia. Having a tough time still keeping an eye on him with so many people and press getting close to him, and of course a fairly large crowd here at Raleigh County Memorial Airport.
Now the president had made a campaign issue of bringing back coal. That's still being debated about how much it's going to come back, but he's here. Secretary of Energy Rick Perry, everybody's working the crowd there, so a major presence by the Trump administration here, not just the president, but several cabinet members here in the group along with him.
Yeah, that's what it should have been. Right,
and he is stopping to spend some time with these folks, which was really nice. He may not be aware of it, but these people stood out here in the rain, and they absolutely got soaked waiting for him. Very few of them took shelter. They just decided to stick it out for that opportunity to see and meet with the President of the United States, and they are getting it right now.
Somewhat comical, not for us, Bob, because we were out here during that downpour, but somewhat comical that as soon as he arrives, of course, clear skies and sunshine. President Trump still speaking with supporters. He seems to be getting towards the end of the line, and of course he has a vehicle ready to go to take him to Fayette County for about a 30 to 40 minute ride before he speaks to scouts there at the National Scout Jamboree. Of course, people there anxiously awaiting his arrival next.
So you see several cabinet members out here along with him. Some of them talking with our state officials. There's the governor. And the Secret Service got the vehicle there ready to open that door for him. But he's still talking to this crowd taking much longer than many people thought that he would.
Yes.
It seems that President Trump is starting to wrap up speaking to the crowd here before he gets on his way. Once again, he's going to be speaking to about 40,000 people once he gets to the Summit Beckley Reserve.
Everybody.
And once he does get there to the National Scout Jamboree, he's going to speak for about 20 minutes, we're told.
So this is really a treat for these folks. They got to meet the President of the United States and got to spend some time with him.
They took it from us, okay.
Get in the safety of the vehicle.
They're with us.
They got it.
Yeah. This is the last time. Oh, really?
Very how you doing?
Yeah, we both appreciate you talking. So this guy, he's looking for office. That's what he's doing. He thinks we're the rest of
President now going to his vehicle, giving a couple of waves. He now has to make the
Yeah,
journey
guys, as
up
you
to
can
the
see,
Beckley
President-
Scout Reserve. It's going to take a few minutes. Road traffic's going to be shut down here in the area of the airport.
Bob, as you guys can see, President Trump is now getting into the vehicle to be on his way. We're going to toss it back to you guys. A reminder to go over to our Facebook page and answer our question of the day, what you think about President Trump's first 6 months in office. And also, if you see him at the 2017 National Scout Jamboree, we want to see your pictures. Remember to always send them to us on burst.com/WCHS TV. We're going to send it back to you guys, Callie.